welcome back to another segment with Sports with Kobe and Sean here. It's our last segment of the year here. We're going to talk about the draft, and Sean, what a draft it was last night.
It was great. I mean, that's my favorite, the draft is my favorite night of the year. It's like, especially as a Jet fan, you know, like personal anguish, you know, like I'm very sad. I'm a sad Jet fan, but this, like, it always brings hope to every team, no matter what it is. And we saw that in the first two picks. Everybody kind of knew where they were going to end up. Number 1, Trevor Lawrence. Number 2, Zach Wilson. I think that overall, like everybody knew that was going to happen. I think it's the right order they should have went in based on pro days. Like, maybe it would have been a little bit different if they had the combine and like a full season. Justin Fields would have shot up and been the consensus number 2. But based on this season, pro days, interviews, this was obvious. And what do you think about that?
I think everyone knew Trevor Lawrence was going with Urban Meyers to Jacksonville. And I feel like after weeks, we all knew that Zach Wilson was going to go to your Jets there. And that's exactly what happened. It's the other picks that kind of shocked me. Number 3, we got Trey Lance going to the 49ers. I was not expecting that at all. I was expecting maybe Mac Jones or Fields. They were talking a lot about those two guys there. I know Shanahan went to Mac Jones's pro day and then sent one of his other coaches there to watch Fields. So I knew it was one of those two guys. But getting Trey Lance was really a shocker to me.
You know, I like Trey Lance to the 49ers. I'm going to agree with you here. I thought it was going to be Mac Jones originally. But, like, as time went on, I was like, you know what, it's probably, like, Trey Lance makes sense. Justin Fields makes sense. Mac Jones doesn't. Trey Lance in that 49ers offense with Kyle Shanahan and his, like, playbook, going to be so fun to watch. Like, he's so good on his feet. He rushed for, like, 1,100 yards, I think, in 2019 because he opted out of this season. But, like, I think that's a really good fit. And while it was the surprising pick, it's also not the surprising pick, if you know what I'm trying to say there.
Yeah.
Like, it made the most sense. Then we got 4 Falcons, take Kyle Pitts, get Matt Ryan a weapon. Looks like they're loading up for another little playoff run here. I don't think they do it. They choke every year, so
I feel like they needed to get a defensive player there. Their defense is terrible.
I think they could have. I really think they could have won. I wouldn't have been surprised if they went Fields here. Like, if they went Fields and just had him, like, sit behind Matt Ryan for a year, like, it would have been perfect. And going back to Trey Lance for a second, I think he's going to sit this year. Like, he should sit behind Jimmy Garoppolo, learn from him, and, like, then next year the Niners are going to be like, they're going to be back, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that should happen. I think that Kyle Pitts here, I mean, he's the most talented player in the draft probably outside of Trevor Lawrence, but it's a great pick for any team that picks him up. Like, he's like a Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, Jimmy Graham in his prime kind of player that would just come in and, like, produce right away.
Make a huge impact for the team to start. I agree.
We can talk about number 5 right here.
I called it.
You did call it. I mean, I'm one that I'll put my hand up. I was wrong. I think it's a stupid pick, but hey, you were right. I mean, I'll give it to you. I do think they should have went Sewell. I think that going Jamar Chase at 5, it's good for the story because you get to bring Burrow back, like the connection to LSU that they had, and now they have so many weapons now. It's like Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon. Who's their tight end? Is it
I feel like they got a young tight end.
I think they might, yeah. But I'm pretty sure he's, like, solid. Like, he's not bad.
Yeah.
And now they bring in Jamar Chase, and he's probably going to be their wide receiver 1 in next year, like, easily. It's definitely a reach over protecting your quarterback for the next 20 years.
I mean, they pick a guy for another weapon instead of a protector, but maybe they go a few O-lines in the draft here later.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, there's so much. This is a pretty, like, top-heavy draft in the middle of the first round. Like, nobody really knew what was going to happen, but, like, they also knew that there was a lot of people that could have won in the middle of the first round that would fall, like, to the second round. So, like, they could easily get, like, a Tevin Jenkins or a Creed Humphrey, like, someone to get inside. So I guess it kind of worked out for them in the end. Number 6, we have the Dolphins taking Jalen Waddle, the wide receiver out of Alabama. Did not play this year. Came in the championship game, had 1 catch, and
I mean, he was hurt like the whole year too, and then tried to play. And then that championship game, he tried to play, and everyone was bashing Nick Saban's like, "Why are you trying to ruin this kid's career? What are you doing?" But it wasn't Nick Saban. Jalen Waddle was trying to play on his own, but you could clearly see he was not there. He just couldn't do it.
I agree, but I do think it's a good pick for the Dolphins. I think it's nice to get them another weapon. They came in very similar to your Ravens, having 2 needs: wide receiver, edge.
Yeah.
And you both address both of those needs, so I think it worked out for them well.
I mean, this is a perfect pick for the Dolphins. I mean, they get a guy that Tua's comfortable with. Tua played with Jalen Waddle all 4 years he's been there. So they have a connection there, just like Joe Barron and Jamar Chase. So there's another reunion there. We have a few reunions actually in this draft.
Well, did you see the video of Jalen Waddle? Someone asked him who he liked playing with better.
He said him and Devontae Smith
both said Mac Jones. It's crazy.
It was like the spiral of the ball that's thrown. Tua throws it weird, and Mac Jones throws like a perfect spiral. So
that's a little surprising, but I mean, I'm sure he still loves Tua, and he's happy to reunite with him either way.
Yeah.
It was interesting to see that. We have 7 right here. Probably the best pick of the draft. The Lions got extremely lucky. Penei Sewell falls to them. Best O-tackle prospect in generations, probably. Sorry. And he falls right in their lap. So I mean, that's my pick. That's one of my picks of the draft right there.
I think that's a great pick for the Lions. I mean, you get Jared Goff, some protection there, so that helps out. I mean, they got the receivers. They got Marvin Jones, and then they got T.J. Hawkinson's. They got a great tight end, so you got 2 threats there.
Yeah.
And then just need some protection. Now you're good, and you got DeAndre Swift, so that helps him out too for the run blocking game as well.
Yeah, and they
I think that's.
I think it works out, and they got Jared Goff coming in, injury-prone quarterback. They got to get some beef up front, We have the Panthers at 8. Take J.C. Horn. I think J.C. Horn's a stud. Like, he's a great corner, and he played so good this year. But I do think that Surtain is better than him. I thought that the Panthers would go Surtain here. They went Horn. Kind of surprised me. But either way, great pick. I mean, absolute lockdown man corner.
I agree, and they got some good corners in Carolina, so that just helps out and buffs it up.
Yeah. 9. I was shocked here. I thought that the Broncos were going to go with Fields at 9, and they shocked the world. They go Patrick Surtain the 2nd out of Alabama. What do you think about that?
Well, I can see why they wouldn't go Fields. I mean, you just traded to get Teddy Bridgewater, so you got 2 quarterbacks. So getting 3, and Drew Lock is a young quarterback. Wouldn't make any sense there. That's just a waste of trading for Teddy. So they would need something else. And you already had last draft. You already got your threats and receivers. You got they got Jerry Jeudy and then KJ Hamler. So you already got threats there, and then you got Noah Fant as your tight end. So pretty much they just need something defensive-wise, and I guess that's the right move. I mean, you got star-studded. You
got Bradley Chubb. Like they have some solid players.
What's their safety's name?
Justin Simmons.
Yes, they already got Justin Simmons, so they already got a stud secondary, and that just kind of helps it out there.
Yeah, 100%. The best part about this was seeing Cowboys fans' hearts break when he got picked the pick before them. Speaking of the Cowboys, they were at 10. They trade back with the Eagles interdivision, and the Eagles move up and take Devonta Smith, and I think you can't really say much about that. That's a perfect pick. That's a perfect pick.
Yeah. But that's all we have for this segment here. We'll come back and talk about the Eagles right after this. And we are back. We ending off last segment talking about Devonta Smith. The Eagles and Cowboys trading up their picks. I feel like that was a great decision between both teams there because they both got the guys they need.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of the best picks of the draft. The Eagles need a receiver. They get the Heisman winning trophy receiver, first one in 30 years or something like that. Moving on to 11, we had another trade here. The Giants were originally picking, and they moved down to 20 with the Bears. The Bears come up and they get their guy in Justin Fields.
This pick shocked me, I'm going to be honest. I was not expecting Fields to go to the Bears at all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody really was because nobody thought he would be there at 20, but once they traded up, it's like, okay, they're getting a quarterback, either Jones or Fields. Like, there's no other way to go here. They take Fields, was the consensus number 2 pick before this season, and Zach Wilson and Trey Lance somehow shot over him. Gets picked at 11. He's going to Chicago. I think it's a good fit for him. I'll have a little bit of a competition with Andy Dalton. Probably beat him out. Plus a Super Bowl winning quarterback in Nick Foles. I think it's good for him.
I agree. I mean, I feel like this is a great pick for the Bears. They get a quarterback that they need. Mitch Trubisky wasn't cutting it, and now they got hopefully they get their guy and make a run now. I mean, they got a great defense already, and then they got threats. They get Allen Robinson back, even though he doesn't want to be back, and then you got your other, I forget the other receivers they got, but they got some threats there.
Yeah, definitely. The Bears might be back because that defense is always legit. Number 12, we have the Cowboys taking the linebacker out of Penn State. Many people said he was the best defensive player in the draft, Micah Parsons.
My one friend is a Cowboys fan, and before this draft started, he said, "I'm getting a Micah Parsons jersey." He called it. Micah Parsons to the Cowboys, perfect pick. I mean, people felt like it was going to happen. Cowboys fans knew it was going to happen, and it happened for them, and that's just a great pick there. Helps out, buff up their defense. I mean, their offense is pretty much set there, so this helps out greatly for their defense.
Yeah, I think Micah Parsons is a great pick. With the loss of Sean Lee,
yeah.
He just came out of here. Micah Parsons comes in, he fills that hole immediately. Him and Leighton Vander Esch. The Cowboys. The NFC East is gonna be a really interesting division this year, and they're filling out very well. We have Devonta Smith to the Eagles, we have Micah Parsons to the Cowboys. Just great picks all around. So I'm definitely excited to see what they do this year. Moving on to pick 13, we have the LA Chargers taking Rashawn Slater, O-tackle out of Northwestern. I love this pick so much. I love it because I think Rashawn Slater is arguably better than Penei Sewell, and he falls to 13. They didn't have to move up to get him. They sat. They were confident that they were going to get their guy, their team, and they do. And now they have protection for Herbert. They did what the Bengals should have done. They did. I mean, that's why Herbert was the rookie of the year last year, not Burrow.
I mean, yeah, Burrow got destroyed.
Exactly, because he didn't have a lineman. There's no way to get around this. He didn't have a lineman. He got destroyed. They don't draft a lineman this year. They draft a lineman after Herbert didn't get destroyed. Now they have even more beef up front. I love it.
I agree with you on that.
It makes sense, and they did what the Bengals should have done.
Okay, next at 14 we have your Jets. I mean, they traded up with it for this pick.
The Vikings.
Traded with the Vikings, and they get an O-line, and now you got a guy to protect your new quarterback in New York.
Dude, I love this pick so much. I think this is I was more excited when they did this than when they picked Zach Wilson, easily, because this dude is so legit, and we have such a massive hole at guard. We just lost Alex Lewis, and our other guard is Greg Van Ryan. Probably never heard of either of those people. So we move up from 23 to 14, get the best player, get the best guard in the draft. Elijah Vera Tucker, super versatile. He's going to play great in that zone kind of offense scheme that they have running right now. I love it, and I'm a little sad we don't have a third round pick now. We only have one pick today, but we still have 7 in the draft to go. So great. I think him and Mekhi Becton on the left side of that line is going to be scary, and we're doing what we should have done with Darnold. We're building around our quarterback so we can have a future. You know what I mean? It makes sense. So Zach Wilson's going to come in. His blind side's already protected. We work a little bit on the right tackle, maybe get Tevin Jenkins in the second round here. We're in business. It'll be a very scary front.
I agree with you there. And then 15 we have Mac Jones. Dude who's going to sit behind Cam this year, so that's going to be an interesting sight. I mean, I saw something on Instagram said Mac Jones is just Cam backwards, and it shows the body figure, the way they both play. I mean, they are two different quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's going to be weird for him to learn from a mobile quarterback like Cam Newton, but I will say this: I'm not surprised they went quarterback here, but I am a little surprised because Belichick never drafted a quarterback in the first round in his entire career, and he's one of the best coaches in NFL history. He got lucky, he got Brady, but Mac Jones here. I mean, it's the right pick technically because that's their biggest gaping hole because Cam Newton's not the long-term answer at quarterback. Mac Jones might be. We'll see what happens.
16 here we got Xavier Collins.
Xavier Collins.
I don't know why I said Collins. Xavier Collins going to the Arizona. I feel like that's a huge thing for Arizona and their defense there. I mean, last year they drafted Isaiah Simmons, and I mean he didn't play the greatest. So get another linebacker there. Hopefully plays better and gets the job done for Arizona and their defense.
Yeah, I mean, I think Xavier Collins is a very good player. I don't know if they run a 4-3 or 3-4, but I'm pretty sure Isaiah Simmons plays outside, like a coverage kind of linebacker, maybe like a box safety even. But Xavier Collins is legit, and him on the inside there is going to be scary for teams to come.
17, we got the Las Vegas Raiders taking Alex Leatherwood from Alabama, offensive lineman.
Worst pick of the draft. Pick of the draft. I mean, the Raiders do this. This is what they do. They took Cleveland Farrell in 2019. Last year they reached on a safety or cornerback, Arnett Simons maybe, I think it was.
Yeah.
But this year they take Alex Leatherwood. Alex Leatherwood, there's a 60% chance he's there at your second round pick. And they take him here. They got their guy. I mean, I like everything to him, but they got their guy. It happens. But I do think that's the worst pick of the draft.
I agree. 18, we got the Dolphins taking edge rusher Jalen Phillips. I mean, that's a great pick. They needed that.
Yeah, great pick. I love the pick. You have Jalen Phillips and Jalen Waddle coming into the Dolphins. They had 2 needs: edge, receiver. take care of both of them in the first round. Done. I think it works out very well for them. 19, we have Jamin Davis, linebacker from Kentucky. This dude is a bowler, and a lot of people don't think he's like that, but he is. He's a very good player, super good in man coverage, blitzing, everything. He's a great tackler. I think that's a great pick for the football team. That just made their front seven even more scary.
Oh, of course. That is a scary defense to go through. That's definitely a scary defense. And then 20, we got the Giants, who traded up with the Bears, or traded down with the Bears, to get receiver Kadarius Toney from Florida. I mean, I feel like that's a good pick. You get another threat for Daniel Jones.
I love this pick. I think the pick's great. The trade down's amazing. The trade down was so good. David Gettleman did his thing. He worked his magic. Got so many picks. Another first rounder next year. And they got a receiver. They wanted Devonta Smith at 11. He's not there. They're going to trade back, and they're going to get the next best receiver at 20, Kadarius Toney.
And then 21 here, we got Kwity Paye. Definitely a great pick for the Colts. Get another defensive player there. I mean, they got DeForest Buckner already. I mean, DeForest Buckner balled out last year.
Yeah.
So this definitely like a big pick. Get another edge rusher to come off, and I feel like it's going to be great for the Colts.
Yeah, 100%. I love the pick too.
But that's all we have for this segment here. We'll be back shortly with the next one. We're back again with pick number 22, Caleb Farley to the Titans. I feel like this is a great pick.
I think it is as well. I mean, they just lost Logan Ryan. Josh Norman isn't there. Josh Norman was up there. I don't know what I'm saying.
I think they lost Malcolm Butler.
Malcolm Butler, that's who it was. But I think it's a great pick. I think it's a need. Caleb Farley, very good corner. I was a little sad about this. I really, really was like praying that he would drop to 34. A little bit of a reach, but I mean, I love this guy. He's a very good corner. I think it's a great pick. 23, we have the Vikings taking Christian Darris out of Virginia Tech.
They needed an offensive line.
They needed, and they took the best one on the board. My opinion, third best offensive tackle in the draft. I mean, he's better than Leatherwood. I don't know why. We won't go back to that, but the Raiders are stupid. Darris out, very good lineman, super good. I like it a lot. And the Vikings, it was a need for the Vikings, so it makes perfect sense.
And then 24, I don't know about this pick. Najee Harris in the first round. I mean, picking a running back just isn't like, I mean, if the guy's like a huge impact player, you go running back like Saquon Barkley in the 2018 draft. You go him because you needed him. Like, I don't know about this one. I mean, I feel like the Steelers have drafted a running back every year almost. I mean, you get Anthony McFarland last year. I think Benny Snell the year before. James Connors. I mean, you lose James Connors, I get that, but you still got Anthony McFarland and Benny Snell. And Benny Snell didn't even play that bad last year. So I don't know about this pick with the Steelers here.
I like it. I think that the way I think about Najee Harris is kind of like how you think about Derrick Henry. Like, Derrick Henry's that guy. He's a truck. He will run you over, no holding back, and he doesn't need a great offensive line for that. Like, if they took ETN here instead of Najee Harris, I'd be very confused because ETN is a running back that's going to need a good offensive line in the league. Like, Najee Harris probably won't be the best. They could have went Tevin Collins here. They could have went like any other lineman really. They just lost Pouncey. They lost Villanueva. So I think it's a good pick. It might not be the right pick, but it's a good pick because they just lost Connor. But the next pick, 25, the Jaguars.
Travis Etienne.
No, it makes no sense.
I mean, who's the running back they have?
James Robinson.
Yeah.
He's very good. They have a very good running back right there. They take ETN, pair him up with his guy Trevor Lawrence. I mean, I get it.
Union there.
I get it, but like simultaneously, this might be the dumbest pick made in the first round. Just because you have so many holes already on your team. You're not in the same position that the Steelers are. You went 1-15 last year. The Steelers went 12-4.
Yeah.
And you if you're in that position, you don't take a running back in the first round. It's the biggest waste of space pick ever because they're not going to produce what you need them to do. It's the least valuable position in football sometimes. Like, in the NFL, it's one of the least valuable positions.
Because a running back doesn't last that long. I mean, yeah.
And you can find them anywhere. Like, you can find a running back in the 6th round that's going to be great. But I think it was a stupid pick. They have way too many holes to take ETN at 25. And they're like, you go tackle there. You go anything on defense. Makes perfect sense. I love it. But they go with ETN here.
It doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
And then 26, we have the Browns taking cornerback Greg Newsome II. I don't know about this pick. I mean,
this is another pick I really like, actually.
They got Denzel. I mean, I would understand because Greedy Williams, they got Greedy Williams, I think, last year, and he didn't really play that well. But then they got star corner Denzel Ward.
Yeah.
So I guess this helps out from them getting burnt by Hollywood again in the fourth quarter on 4th and 5. So I guess that's why they wanted to get another corner.
Yeah, I mean, I think Greg Newsom's very good. I've watched a little bit of film on him because there's a lot of chatter about him going to the Jets at 23. But I think this is a great pick. I think they have a little bit of a crowded secondary now, but like that's not a bad thing either. Like this, like people can play the nickel, they can play the nickel packages, dime packages. So I think it definitely works out for the better for the Browns here. 27, your Ravens take Rashad Bateman out of Minnesota. Absolute stud, first of all, but I'll let you take this one.
I like the pick. You know what I really wanted? I really wanted to like trade some picks and get Julio, but now that's not going to happen. And we get another receiver again. So hopefully Greg Newsome, why did I say Greg Newsome? Greg Roman does something with this. Because now we have threats for Lamar. We have receivers. We can't say Lamar doesn't have receivers now. He's Rashad Bateman, a stud coming out of Minnesota. We have Sammy Walken and Hollywood Brown. We got Miles Boykins, Devin Duvernay, and James Prochet. We got receivers now.
Mark Andrews too. Literally, he's pretty much a receiver. I mean, this is Lamar's year to show. Like he can show he can prove every single person, including myself, that's hated on him wrong.
Yes, it depends on what Greg Roman does with this offense and the guys he has now. That's who we're relying on now. It's not Lamar. It's Greg Roman's time.
Yeah, I mean he runs like a run-centric offense, and I mean it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Bateman and Watkins. Like they obviously put an emphasis on receiver this offseason, and they definitely succeeded in doing what they wanted to do. So it'll definitely be fun to watch and see what Roman schemes up.
Next we have Peyton Turner, defensive line, going to the Saints. I mean, I don't really know what the Saints needed, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, the Saints are pretty well-rounded. I mean, this one was a little bit of a head-scratcher. I don't know who Peyton Turner is, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I've never really heard about him, but he's a DN from Houston. The Saints, I think Cam Jordan's still there.
Yeah.
Trey Hendrickson, maybe, but maybe they're going to let him sit for a year, like learn a little bit, because Cam Jordan's a legend at the position, so I could definitely see that happening, and then maybe he's just a stud in 2 years. He's a nice J.J. Watt.
Yeah. And then 29, we got Eric Stokes, cornerback from Georgia, going to the Packers, which I totally agree with after Kevin King's terrible performance in the NFC Championship game.
I will say this, I agree with it, but if I was Aaron Rodgers in this situation, and you just told them that you didn't want to come back, and then you go out and take another defensive player in the first round this year, well, that makes no sense to me. I would be livid if I was Aaron Rodgers. I would be like, I'm leaving. Like, you have to trade me right now, or I'm just gonna retire. He's 37 years old. He can retire. Like, they drafted his replacement last year. They clearly want him out of there, but they don't want to say that they want him out of there. So it makes no sense. The Aaron Rodgers story is another big one. We can talk about that later, maybe. But
yeah,
I mean, Eric Stokes, great player, but definitely a little bit of a reach here at 28.9. And I think they should have went offense for Aaron Rodgers, but. Pick number 30 with the Buffalo Bills, taking Greg Rousseau, and I love this pick, but I hate it at the same time, just because Gregory Rousseau is a monster, and he's going to be, him and Mekhi Becton are going to go at it for 10 years.
I like that pick. I mean, they clearly their offense is set. They need some defense, and I guess a pass rusher would definitely help with that, so I really like that pick.
Yeah, I think it's a great pick. 31, we have the Ravens again, taking Jason Owa, the edge out of Penn State.
I didn't know about this pick. Like, the fans there, like, I was watching the draft here, and they didn't know about this pick, and then, like, found out this dude's 6'5", 253, runs a 4.3. Like,
he's a monster. He's crazy.
He's raw talent, so I really like this pick.
Yeah, I like it a lot, too. Similar to the Dolphins, you address both the needs. You need an edge. You lost Judon and Calais. I didn't know he lost.
Judon and Ngakwe.
Yeah, Ngakwe, that's who it was, but you pick up Greg Rousseau now, Jason Owa, I think it's beautiful.
And then 32 here, well, you already know the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are pretty much set, so Joe Tryon and edge rusher.
They don't need him, but he'll come in for some rotational stuff, maybe get a couple snaps on third down.
Yeah.
But they're bringing back 22 starters from a Super Bowl winning team, so nothing much you can do about that.
Yeah. But that's all we have for this segment in the first round of the NFL Draft. We'll be back for the next one. We're back again, and we're going to talk about our teams and their picks. So, Sean, you can start us off here about your Jets and how you feel about it.
Yeah, I'll start off right here. I love the Zach Wilson pick. I've been high on Zach Wilson since, I'd say, the Coastal Carolina game last season. I think he showed that he can play, and Coastal Carolina was a top 10 team last year. So, I think Zach Wilson, he's good for the New York media, and that's like the biggest obstacle that these Jets rookie quarterbacks have had to conquer. Like Sam Darnold can handle the New York media. He couldn't handle New York period. He got mono the second week he was there. So, but
isn't Sam Darnold the one who says I'm seeing ghosts? Or what's that Daniel?
Yeah, that was Sam Darnold. He said he was seeing ghosts, and they ran with that one.
What?
The New York City media absolutely destroyed Sam Darnold because of that.
The internet destroyed Sam Darnold. I mean, what? I see ghosts. Like, what are you talking about?
I don't know. It just didn't make any sense. But I love Sam Darnold. No Sam Darnold slander here. We'll talk about Zach Wilson, though. He's BYU quarterback, had a great senior year, and then he came out his pro day, made the throw of the offseason. Like that off-the-shoulder throw, left side of the field to the back pylon in the end zone, so beautiful, so beautifully placed, tight spiral, great throw. I loved it. I think he's coming into a very good situation. Robert Saleh, Joe Douglas, Mike LaFleur, that whole staff, they're trying to do something special here. And I really hope it works out. My dad put it this way, I'll say, he's a Jet fan as well, he said he's cautiously optimistic. Like, that's kind of how you have to be as a Jet fan.
Mm-hmm.
When we draft a new quarterback, you can't be like, we're going to win a Super Bowl this year. You got to be like, let's slow down, let's think he's going to be good. If he's not, we're the Jets, we don't get upset. So, and then we had 2 picks in the first round as well as you guys, so 14, they take Elijah Vera Tucker. I talked about this a little bit in the second segment, but I love this pick so much. I was saying I was more excited about Elijah Vera Tucker here than taking Zach Wilson, and so was Joe Douglas. Joe Douglas was fired up when he took Elijah Vera Tucker. There's a video of him in their war room, and he's on the phone with them. And he's like, it's good to have you. And he's just like, let's go. He's screaming at Robert Saleh and Woody Johnson, and it was funny, but I think that solidifies what you need to have a rookie quarterback come into. Kai Becton, stud of a rookie. He played amazing last year. He was the only one that was better than him was probably Tristan Wirfs on the Bucs.
Yeah.
But he played so well last year, and he's a monster of a man. And now we have a left guard with Elijah Vera Tucker. That left side of the line, it's locked up for 10 years. Like we have that. We're good. And then a right-handed quarterback like Zach Wilson, his blind side's on his left side, so his blind side's protected from day one. He's going to be a day one starter. We all know that. So I think bringing in AVT is the best thing the Jets could have done for Zach Wilson. If they didn't bring him in, they would have taken probably a corner or something, and then it wouldn't have worked out as well as we wanted it to. So I think that is the first step in the right direction of taking Zach Wilson and evolving his game. So those were the 2 Jets picks first round last night. How about you talk about the Ravens?
So my Ravens here, I'm liking the picks. I mean, of course we need a receiver. What I was really hoping. Well, I was hearing the rumors. I got excited, but as a Ravens fan, if you heard rumors, it's trade rumors. Do not get that excited because they never happen. I mean, the offseason clearly showed we didn't get Galladay, no Robinson, no big receiver. We have Sammy Watkins. I mean, we got another pretty much bigger Hollywood, I would say. But we draft a receiver first round again and get Rashad Bateman, and that dude is a baller. I mean, I watched him 2 years ago in the Penn State Minnesota game, and he just went off. He's a stud receiver coming out of Minnesota. So I think he can be a big impact to the team, but it relies on what Greg Roman calls for this team. I mean, everything relies on Greg Roman at this point on. We got Lamar, his people. We can't say Lamar doesn't have threats anymore at receiver. I mean, he has Rashad Bateman, Sammy Watkins, Hollywood Brown, drafted Devin Duvernay and James Prochet last year, and we didn't even use Devin and James Prochet, and they both clearly showed they can play. I mean, James Prochet against the Titans ran a whip route, was open, had 5 yards of separation. Clearly showed that he can make plays. It just depends on what he calls and what he does with this. Literally the ball is in his hands. It's not in Lamar's hands because Lamar's not making the play calls. It's in his hands with this and the people he has. And then our defense, I mean, we just lost Ngakwe, Judon. We lost our 2 edge rushers. We still have a good D-line in Derek Wolfe and Calais Campbell and Brandon Williams. And then we pick up Jason Awe.
I don't know how to say his name either. It's a tough one.
But I didn't even know. I didn't even remember much about this dude. I mean, I'm a Penn State fan, and I don't remember this dude because it's all Micah Parsons and Penn State. But Micah Parsons opted out this year. But dude is raw talent. I mean, 6'5", 250 something. He's what is he? 6'5", 253, and the dude supposedly runs a 4.3. I mean, you're 6'5", 253, and you run a 4.3. I mean, I've seen running backs who don't even run that fast. I mean, Saquon Barkley ran a 4.4. So having that guy come off the edge and come at a quarterback like Baker, who's not that mobile, or Ben Roethlisberger is going to be great.
Yeah.
Or coming off against Josh Allen, who is a pretty mobile quarterback, is gonna help. But I really like that pick there as well. And then I feel like earlier we talked about. Well, earlier we got that pick. We got that 31st pick from trading Orlando Brown, but I think we're gonna get. You said the dude from Pittsburgh, that offensive lineman there. Is it?
Villanueva.
Yeah, I think we're gonna pick up Villanueva. So I can see us picking maybe like. I think we could go Jenkins next round, or even pick a safety in Travion Morridge. So hopefully we.
Yeah, definitely. I mean. The Steelers. There's a lot of talent still on the board, and that's what's super exciting about this draft. I mean, I think the Steelers could go line. I don't think Tevin Jenkins will be there when you guys pick. I'm not sure what your second round pick is, but I mean, like there's still like other tackles that are just great. Like Landon Dickerson's a center. You got Creed Humphrey in here. Like there are definitely some very good players, and I think the Jets, 34, the dream. I have 3 dreams, and they're all different types of players. You go, Tevin Jenkins, put him at right tackle. That line is set. He's a monster of a man. He's a very good player. I see Asante Samuel, Jr., corner. You know, super aggressive, man coverage, hawks the ball. Third, Azeez Ojulari. That is a name that I thought was going to be called in the top 15, like at the beginning of the draft process. Obviously, he slipped down, but I didn't think he was falling in the second round. And that's a talent right there. Like, he's good. Azeez Ojulari is very good. He's super athletic, quick off the ball, and he gets to the quarterback. So I'd be fine with any 3 of those picks at 34. Obviously, at least 1 or 2 of them will be available. But where do you want the Ravens to go in the second round?
You know what? I just want whatever comes best with us. I mean, of course, we're going to pick a safety, get an O-lineman. But after that, I'm just fine with whatever, as long as the team works out and does great. But that's all we have for this segment here. We'll be back shortly for our 5th segment of the day. And we're back here again, and big news with the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers supposedly wants out of Green Bay. Just days before the draft, he said he's not happy with the organization, and he wants out. So I think that's huge there. That's huge news.
Yeah, you know, he came out and he said, I think he said that he wanted, like, it was the day of draft day, and that's just shocking to me. I can't believe he comes out, he takes all the spotlight away from Trevor Lawrence, because he's already established. He's that guy. Trevor Lawrence is supposed to be that guy. He's the prophet. And Aaron Rodgers just comes in, absolutely takes the show. We didn't want him to take it away from our show. We wanted a draft show, but we have to talk about Aaron Rodgers a little bit here. So I will say this. I think that it's better for Aaron Rodgers to leave. I think his time in Green Bay's up. Like, there's not many rosters in the NFL that will give him what Green Bay gave him. And he got a ring in Green Bay. Like, I think he'll always have respect for him, similar to like the Brett Favre situation. But I can see him going to the Niners. Or not the Niners, actually. I mean the football team. If he goes to the football team, that's scary. They have scary Terry. They have a good O-line. They have the best defensive front in football. The youngest defensive front in football, so they're all on cheap deals. So I think if he went to the football team, that'd be the best fit. There's other places obviously you could go, you know, but I think that makes the most sense.
Well, supposedly the 3 teams he has as his list are the 49ers, Broncos, and Raiders. So I feel like, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, everybody in the draft, I forget what year he was drafted. I think it was like 2006.
I think it was 05.
05. I mean, that year he was drafted, everyone thought he was going to stay in the hometown, be the 49ers quarterback, and then shocker here, they take Alex Smith over Aaron Rodgers, and then Aaron Rodgers drops, gets picked up by Green Bay, sits behind Brett Favre. Brett Favre retires, and people weren't happy about that, weren't fans of Aaron Rodgers, but then Aaron Rodgers stepped up, made a statement to the team, and then Brett Favre tries to come back and then take his take his spot back, but the fans weren't happy with
They
it.
love Aaron Rodgers, yeah.
And then Brett Favre goes to, the enemy, Minnesota Vikings there, and then Aaron Rodgers balls out still and wins Green Bay a Super Bowl a few years later. So, and then they kind of get the same situation last year when they draft Jordan Love, a quarterback, the same round, the same everything as the Brett Favre Aaron Rodgers situation. I think it was like 7 years later or something like that. So it's kind of like the same situation here. The quarterback wants out, and the team just I don't know, just isn't cutting it for him.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a very interesting stat. I think that I forgot, it's blanking my name on who the quarterback before Brett Favre was in Green Bay, but he was very good. He played well. He played there for 16 years. Brett Favre comes in and replaces him. He played there for 16 years. Aaron Rodgers comes in and replaces him. This is Aaron Rodgers' 16th season. He just played his 16th season, so
Jordan Love might be replacing
Jordan
him.
Love should replace him this year, and I think that he's going. I mean, if he doesn't want to be there, they shouldn't make him be there. That's what's wrong with the NFL front office. We've talked about this before, I think.
With Allen Robinson.
Yeah, with Allen Robinson.
Guys who don't want to be there get stuck there with the franchise
tag, and it's just so stupid. But
teams don't want to follow their needs.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Rodgers getting traded would be the best thing for both parties. It worked once. You had a great quarterback in Brett Favre. Get him out of there, and Rodgers comes in. He's one of the most talented quarterbacks of all time. See what Jordan Love can do. You don't have to hoard this guy if he doesn't want to be there. That's kind of where I'm at. I think the Niners would be very interesting if he went home. Definitely intriguing because, what are they going to do with Jimmy G? What are they going to do with Trey Lance? That would be even better for Trey Lance to learn behind. A guy like Aaron Rodgers, that'd be perfect for anybody to learn behind. So, and they have a ton of weapons too. Great defense. It's tough to see where he would go, but I think almost any team would be a fit for a guy like Aaron Rodgers.
I agree. I mean, I just wonder what's gonna be like for Devontae then to not have his guy Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers are a definite dynamic duo in the league, and if Aaron Rodgers goes, I mean, he's gonna have to get that connection with Jordan Love, and I feel like it just won't be established like it is with Aaron Rodgers, and it's gonna definitely make Devontae Adams be less than one of the top receivers in the league. He might drop down out of the top 5.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell how close they are. That's one of the watching Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams play together last year was one of the funnest parts of football, by far. I mean, he's looking for him for his 500 touchdown ball. He's I caught this. You told me you were giving it to me. Here you go. And it's Devontae's 100 career touchdown he scored this year. He caught it. I think he caught 3 that game, and the third one was the 100th. And Aaron Rodgers comes up, gives the ball to Devontae. It was just so fun to watch because you can tell they genuinely care about each other and they're good friends in real life. So outside of football, they do this, and that would be interesting. I haven't even thought about that. But would Devontae Adams fall off? And I think he would. I don't think he would be the best. Last year he was the best receiver in the league by far, but not by far. But him and DeAndre Hopkins were ahead of everybody else. Yeah. I think that if Aaron Rodgers leaves, Devontae Adams
could leave as well.
I don't think he would leave because I think he just signed a deal, but he'd be he'd probably still be a top 5 receiver, but he wouldn't be number 1 where he is right now. He wouldn't be on the top of the world. DeAndre Hopkins would.
And DeAndre Hopkins left Deshaun Watson for Kyler Murray, and they just got a connection that. And the same thing with Stephon Diggs. I feel like Stephon Diggs right now in Buffalo is definitely better than he was in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a very, very big connection with Josh Allen there, and then he doesn't have to worry about Adam Thielen or even Justin Jefferson, which came after he left. So it's pretty much Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen there, just like Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers and Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. It's going to be cool to see. So who knows? Maybe Jordan Love comes in and he is that. He clicks with Devontae Adams, and Devontae Adams stays, and he's one of the best players in the league again. But without Rodgers, it's very hard to tell if he will be. But like I said, I think Rodgers stole a draft yesterday. I don't know if you agree with me on that or not.
I definitely do. I mean, especially for the Packers fans. I mean, you're okay, what are we going to do here?
If I'm a Packers fan, I'm let's take a receiver. Let's show him we want him here. Let's do this. They take a corner. They take Eric Stokes, and it's just oh my god, I don't get it. I think you got like if you're gonna do this, then you have to be all in on Aaron Rodgers. If you're saying you're all in on Aaron Rodgers, you have to be all in.
You have to show that you want him to say that that he's your guy, that we're gonna do anything to keep you here, and then you just don't. You get a corner.
Get him a lineman even. I mean, the Packers line's good, but like that shows more than getting him a corner. Getting him a lineman shows more. Like you have not drafted this man, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, year in and year out, a single offensive player in like the past like 10 years.
He hasn't drafted another player at all.
Yeah, it's horrible, and I feel bad for Aaron Rodgers because he probably loves the people of Green Bay and loves being there, but at a point it's like, okay, this is too much, I have to go.
Yeah. But that's all we have for this segment here, and we'll be back for our last segment shortly after this. Welcome back for the last segment of the year. We're gonna top this segment off with NBA, and I'm feeling great about the Wizards. I mean, 2 games ahead of Toronto in the 10th seed, and we're balling, looking hot right now. How do you feel about the Knicks?
I love the Knicks, and like I'll go back, backtrack for a second. I mean, yes, last segment of the year. Super grateful. We had a good show, good thing going here. Maybe we'll do it again next year. We don't know yet.
Yes.
But I think it's perfect. We're ending with this. Something we've done every week. The week so far, we got an NBA roundup. So perfect ending to Sports with Kobe and Sean. But back to the Knicks. They lost the win streak this week. Very upsetting. They were in the game with the Suns. Chris Paul does not miss. That man is so cold, and we've talked about it all year. Chris Paul effect. I'm sure we'll talk about it again when we get to the West. But they still won 10 out of their last 11 games, I think. I think 10 out of their last 11. So that's impressive, no matter what. So we're climbing up power rankings. We're top 10 in the league in most of the major sites. 7 games above 500. We haven't been like this in a very long time. We got the Bucks in the 3rd seed. I'm not going to say that we're creeping up on them, but we're creeping up on them a little bit. We're like 3.5 games back of the 3rd seed, and that's huge for the Knicks, considering people thought they were going to be the worst team in the East this year. So I'm very happy. I think we are going to stay hot. I think Julius Randle, he shouldn't be in the conversation for MVP because he's not the best player in the league, but he is one of the most valuable. Like considering like what he's done for the Knicks, and he's definitely the most improved. That should be out of question. But he is one of the most valuable. Obviously, the MVP goes to the best player usually. Yeah. But like, he's more valuable to the Knicks than I would say. I don't even know where I'm going with it. I'm trying to think like a player that maybe like a Russell Westbrook even is. No, Russell Westbrook playing really well, but like a Bradley Beal is to the Wizards almost. Like Bradley Beal is by far the best player in the Wizards, but like Julius Randle is the heart and soul of this Knicks team, and he's doing so much for them, and it's so exciting to see. But yeah, to answer your question, yes, I'm very excited about what the Knicks are doing. Rounding out the East, nothing's changed up top. We still got the same top 5 seeds, actually 6 seeds. We have the Nets and the Sixers who clinched the playoff berth. Everybody kind of assumed they're going to be the 1 and 2 seed. They're going to be going back and forth all year. 3 seed the Bucks. I'm going to be honest. I know Giannis was hurt for a little bit, but I'm a little surprised that they're not like
5, maybe 4.
Yeah, I mean they've played well without him. First of all, second of all, they've lost games obviously, but like you kind of expected the top 3 to be like intertwined, like maybe like jumping each other the entire season, and the Bucks haven't been there really. Like the 76ers and the Nets
have been going back and forth.
They've been going back and forth. Like one team will get it, one team will get it. It just goes like that, and the Bucks just haven't been there. They've been there, but like not in the same boat as them. So number 4, we just talked about the Knicks, but they're playing great. We got the Hawks at 5 and the Celtics at 6, so no change in the top 6. I want to say the Hornets were 7 and the Heat were 8 last week, but
I think that might have switched.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting to see though, like a competitive Eastern Conference. Like we're not as good as the Western Conference. I think everybody knows that. Like they have better teams than us, but
it's finally good to see the East without LeBron playing close basketball, playing better basketball.
This is the most competitive the East has been in years, and I think with this play-in tournament, like
that's going to make it even more competitive.
There's so many teams that could just like jump right in, and it's really cool actually. I like the idea a lot, so I'm happy that Silver picked that. We don't usually talk about the bad teams in the East, but like remember when the Cavaliers started off like 4-0 when everybody thought they were going to win the East?
I mean, yeah, I think Colin Sexton literally beat the Knicks 2 games in a row.
Yeah, and then he fell off, and now he's still playing well. He's still Colin Sexton. He's still a good player, but like the Cavaliers in general fell off.
I think Kevin Love wants out in Cleveland too as well. I mean, I watched I forget who they played, Team Toronto. He just gave up. I mean, they would not give him the ball at all. He just threw the ball in bounds and got a turnover. I think Kevin Love wants out of Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, I would too. You're that old. You want to play for a contender, not a rebuilding franchise. Talk about the Bulls really quick too. At the 11th seed, one of the busiest teams at the deadline. Nothing to show for it, really. You know, they just fell out of the play-in tournament this week. I think the Wizards jumped them this week. So they just lost to the Knicks Wednesday. But like with guys like I know Zach LaVine's hurt right now, but still with Zach LaVine, you got Vucevic, you got Thad Young, you got like so many good players. But they have a very good roster. You got to start thinking it's got to be more than what the players are doing, and probably has to do with something with coaching.
Coaching, front office.
Yeah,
got to do something with them.
Then the Magic and the Pistons are terrible. The Raptors should be better.
I mean, the Raptors were in the play-in tournament. I think we took over the Raptors spot because last time we were 11. I think the Raptors were in a few shows ago.
Yeah.
And we just went off. I mean, we're 9-1 in the last 10 games.
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually very happy when you guys lost. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't want you to beat our winning streak.
I mean, we were at 8.
Yeah, I think we finished at 9 when we lost it. So I was happy when you guys lost that game. But rounding out the Eastern Conference with a ton of hot teams, we'll move over to the West, where we also have 2 teams clinched, and they're the 2 best teams in the league. So we have the Jazz and the Suns.
And the Suns, this is the first time I think they've been clinched a playoff spot since I think it was like 2010.
Probably with like Nash and Stoudemire.
Yeah, I think it was 2010.
Like late 2000s, yeah. That makes a lot of sense. I haven't seen that, but Jazz and Suns, they're a game apart. Like either one of these teams could be the 1 seed, either one could be the 2 seed. You know.
I mean, the Clippers aren't far behind them with a game and a half.
Yeah, they're like
2.5.
Yeah, they're
the Jazz.
They're 3 games from the Jazz, I believe, and then 2 games from the Suns. But then you have the Nuggets. Once again, I think we talked about it last week or 2 weeks ago when after the Jamal Murray injury happened. It sucks. Like, that sucks a lot. They probably could have been the 3 seed easily, but they're still playing. They're on a 4-game win streak right now. Yeah. I mean, Jokic is the MVP. If Jokic isn't the MVP,
it's Embiid.
Yeah, but I mean, like if Jokic, what I was going to say is if Jokic isn't the MVP, the award should be destroyed. That is a popularity contest. Like,
if Embiid beats Jokic in the MVP, it's definitely something wrong with this league.
100%. I mean, Jokic played all season, unless barring like Jokic just gets hurt or like completely is horrible this next month of the season. But Embiid was out for like 2 months in the middle of the year. Jokic came in. Embiid was a favorite. Jokic was a close second, so he came in and he went over him. Then to round out the play-in tournament at 5, we have the Lakers, 10 games over 500, playing well without LeBron and AD. 6, we got the Mavericks, you know, Luka, Kristaps doing their thing.
Finally playing well.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while, and now they probably won't complain about the play-in tournament because they're already in. 7, Trailblazers. They dropped, but they are still, they're probably going to end up like the 6, and the Mavericks will be back in the play-in tournament or something like that. 8, we have the Grizzlies, 31-30. 9, the Spurs, 10, the Warriors.
I mean, the Warriors.
The Warriors can so do something in a play-in tournament. I think it's single-game elimination. They can 100% get in to the playoffs, and that would be super impressive.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, the NBA this season has been super fun to watch. I didn't know how I was going to feel about it, like, starting out, just because you don't know, like, with a pandemic where you're, like, at the Garden, you're used to seeing millions, or not millions, obviously, but, like, tens of thousands of fans there.
Yeah.
And they're at capacity every single night, no matter how good or bad the Knicks are. Then you turn the TV on, and there's no one there. It's horrible, and it's so I was a little nervous how it was going to work out, but it worked out very well for us. Fans are back. They love this team, so I'm just happy, like, the world going back to normal and sports are going back to normal. It's just great. Well, that's going to be the end of the show for us, last show of the year. Yep. So you guys can listen live anytime at cougarradio.net. Follow us on Instagram and give us a like on Facebook at Cougar Radio. You can also subscribe on YouTube and Spotify to watch and listen to all our podcasts.
Well, it's been fun, Sean. We had a great show here. We're glad you all tuned in and listened every Friday, and hopefully we can do this again next year. And that's it for Sports with Sean and Kobe, and we are out.